to another edition of Ped430 online lesson. Today we'll be discussing about the learning style and the various ways at which children can learn, and we will talk about the function of instructional materials which will enhance both the teaching and learning on the part of the teacher and the student. So this one, I hope you will join it. My name once again is Dr. Ayodeji Badmos. Let's sit back and join ourselves. Let's go to the class. You are welcome. You're welcome back to the class. So our today's lesson will continue where we stop in our course materials. And don't forget, once again, my name is Dr. Ayodeji Badmos, and the course title is Design and Production of Learning Material for Primary School. What are we going to learn today? Let's go to the learning objective. Today we are going to look into the various ways in which children can learn, and we are going to define learning style. We are going to identify various learning style. We are going to at least mention the function of instructional materials, and we are going to mention by identifying some of these instructional materials and seek to their advantages and disadvantages. So let's go into the class and take them one after the other. The way children learn. Children, we have different, that is why we talk about the individual differences, and as a teacher in primary school, we need to identify our student characteristics. How do they learn? The first one is children learn when they are free. You should know the time children they are free, and we should just expose something like academic activities to them if they will perform better. So in that regard, when they free, children also learn at that time. And then children learn by actively participating in the learning. That is why most of the time in the primary school you see some teachers, they will ask the students to hold themselves, roll together, clap together, dance together. So in that form they are learning. Then children learn concept when relations between the idea are demonstrated. So in some cases, like playway method, like dramatization, when it is first inform students playing together, and then they do a kind of a demonstration, and teacher does that, they follow. So children also learn in that regard. So they as well learn in a supportive environment where their thinking ability can be find expression. It's very important that we engage in that kind of supportive environment. They learn in that regard too. They learn by playing. We've talked about playway method. They learn by playing, by giving them some games to play with, and it will bring out some academic activities. So they learn by playing, experimenting at their own pace. So they also learn when the need are met. That's why in some cases all materials that are required by the children will put them together in some location, or in a way that students, they see it, they will love to play with them, and it will bring out academic activities. So they also learn when they can see, they hear, touch, smell, and taste. Very, very important. These are sense organs, and even at the kindergarten, those nursery stage, the students, they like to touch, play, and then they smell and take something into their mouth. They learn in that regard. So children learn by asking questions. If you have involved by in encountering one of the students, there are some that they like asking questions. They ask questions too much. Mommy, what is this? Mommy, what can we find? Where can we find this? How does it look like? All kind of things. So they learn by asking questions. They also learn by remembering. It's very, very important. And now that you can see the various ways in which children can learn, what are the learning style? What are the learning style that are available? What are the learning style that are suitable for students to learn? Now, before then, let us define learning style. These are the ways in which an individual can prefer to gain knowledge. So learning style of learning refer to an individual preferred way to absorb, process, comprehend, and retain information. So it's different. We have some students that they learn on their own. We have some that is when you put them together they can learn, and we have some that they don't like being in the midst in the midst of the people before they can learn. So that is where the agent categorize the student that we can find in the school. Now we have the talented learners, which are gifted. We have average learners, normal learners. We have slow and backward learners. We have the special need learner. These are kind of learner that we may find in our classroom, and we should be able to at least find appropriate learning style to them. So there are different type of learning style that we may talk to. We have some learners that they are visual learners. The visual learner, they learn by observation, by watching, by feeling. So if it's until when they see that thing that they can grab the information, they learn by that. We have some students that are auditory, so they learn by listening, they learn by talking, they learn by thinking, they are being told. It's until when they were told that they can comprehend, that they can know it. So it is common, and most of the time as a mother we say that are you waiting for me to tell you before you do that? So it's not until we say that. So we should know the kind of that child and the kind of learner it is. So we are with them, we can assist in that regard. So we have some learners that are kinesthetic learners. They are kinesthetic learners. So the kinesthetic learners, they are the ones that learn best when they are personally experiencing things first hand. That is the highest categories of learning, that they learn on their own. They learn by doing things on their own. They learn. They always put themselves forward to have first information, first hand. They like to explore. They like to find information themselves. So this are best kind of the learner, and they also learn by others two categories. So we still have other type of learner like competitive style. The competitive learning styles, they are kind of students that want to be singled out for doing a particular good job on a class related activities. So they like being competing with the other student. Another one is collaborative style. The collaborative style student, they are the one that familiar, that like to be in the midst of their colleagues. They like to be paired together with other students. So and these are the kind of learner that they love group discussion. And the other learning style is abundance style. This abundance style, they are category of students that do not like well organized lectures. They do not like well organized lecture and instruction on individual interaction. They like being alone. They like doing their things together. They do not want to be great together with other. They like self-evaluation. So they are affordance student. This is affordance learning style. Other one is participant style. This participant style, they are kind of students who want to learn course content and want to go to the class. They love the teacher. They love being around the class. They love being with the students. They love they want to be there. They want to be in the midst of the student. They like to be in the classroom. They like to go to the laboratory. So these are kind of the student they like to be participate in the learning activities. So another one is dependent learning style. These are kind of students that they rely only on teachers' notes. They also rely on the people's discussion. They don't want to be concerned about the collaborative, the competitive. They want to know. They don't want to know about being abundance or participation. Only what they do know is what has been the teacher's note. Let me have it. They digest the teacher note. What do you say about this? They seek the discussion from their colleagues, and they rely on those things. They rely on those things, and that is dependent learning style. So we have independent learning style, and we have some students that They like being independent. They like independent study. They want to be alone. They don't want to be disturbed. They like self-paced instruction. Whatever might be what you discuss in the class, is that one is for you. They also have their time to sit down and learn on their own. So they like this one, and this kind of students, when they prefer to work on their own, they will listen to the either of other in the classroom. Later they still study on their own. That is about the type of learning style. So let's use 20 seconds to answer this question, and preferably submit it to our discussion forum on fairly. How can the teacher in the classroom effectively certify all the students during the lesson presentation? Thank you. Let's go back to the class. So, what are the function of instructional materials in line with these learning styles? We have so many functions of instructional material. The first one is that they allow the pupils to relate what is taught to the environment, which is that from there they gain experiences and they know what is really on the about the content of the information. They also, it helps to gain and sustain the attention and the interest of the people. So these are the kind of activities that the teacher can showcase, can display in the classroom, so that the attention of the student will be arrested and sustained throughout the lesson. Another one is that the instructional material emphasize areas of interest and important in the learning process. If there is a particular area at which the teacher is like to pinpoint or like to emphasize through the instructional materials being brought to the class, teacher can specifically taught the area and show it to the student. It happens that way and it helps learning. Now, they also facilitate understanding of abstract concepts. Abstract concept is something that the student have not seen before. It's something they cannot see, something they cannot imagine. So yeah, as a teacher, we can bring that kind of things to the class. Even like snow now, snow cannot be seen in Nigeria, but you can bring documentary of snow to the classroom so that they have better understanding. The next one is they help pupils to be active and ensure active participation. How do we do this? When you have instruction materials, place it on the board. Like a diagram, you can ask the student to come out and touch it, or to come out and point to a particular part of the instruction, and they will be active. If they get it right, other students will know that they get it right. If they don't get it right, other students will know. From there, you can have a participating classroom, and it make it more lively. So another one is that they provide equal opportunity or a common framework of learning experience to a large number of students. That is the one of the function of instruction materials, where you have larger class that your force cannot reach. With the aid of instruction materials, you can do that. Larger class that you have information that when it is being said, it cannot reach into the class. You can that information can be converted into the visual display, visual art, put it on the wall, and by expanding it, all the students at the same time can have opportunity to see it. Then as well, they stimulate reality. They as well stimulate reality of instruction. So they provide opportunity for pupils to manipulate objects in their own environment, so thereby making learning more concrete. Yes, what they have seen, what they have taught, and they were able to touch and see. Another way they can do as well, work on it and bring something out from it. And then such material create lasting impact on learners, and as well they employ all the sense of the pupils in the learning process, thereby promoting mental activities, because they can see, they can hear, they can touch, they can smell, and they can also work along with the source materials for better understanding of the instruction. So they increase the vocabulary level of the instruction. In the language lab, we have radio that synchronously can be used for language development. So in that regard, they help for vocabulary levels. Then also instructional materials simplify and condense difficult and large quality of instructional information into understandable format. So we have some information that's above the level of the student that student cannot comprehend, but with the aid of instructional materials it can be simplified and also bring meaning to that information. So let's see some of these instructional materials and uh, look into their advantages and disadvantages. That is the limitation. The first one is picture. The pictures, they are very common in our environment, and they are still picture. They are the one that you are familiar with, some sizes like passport, like a 5x7, like so many that we have seen. They are very, very important to be used in instructional materials. Like when we are teaching something that cannot brought into the class, that we cannot bring to the cannot be brought to the class, like a wild animal like a lion, we can go to the zoo, take the picture, bring to the class. Student will definitely so tell us that they have seen it somewhere. So advantage is that they are of good representative of the real object, and they are easily to prepare, and they also easy to store. And that is about the advantages we have. Then we can say hard to the advantages, but the limitation is that may require artistic skill, that is able to handle the camera and or print it out. They also, a picture may fade or tear with time, so if we lack in keeping them very well. So picture trace lifted or copy can be distorted. So because we cut them out from the original area, so at times may be difficult to get the picture again. So another one is we have chart. This one is common. This one is everywhere. That is we call it is the list of resource material. First, it's simple to do, and we have advantages of it. We have they are visual summaries, and then they can be pinpoint event in story form. And the limitation we have, they require a lot of money in production. They can be very complicated if details are necessary, and they present storage problem, especially with large charts. So is most of the time when we lack where we can keep them, is bring about the problem for this to store them. Now the flannel graph also as well, they can be present with the flannel board. We have fed board, we have magic board. All these things can be used in the classroom to display instruction. And advantage is that they can present a story in sequential order as the picture use amount, one after the other. So in a storytelling, you can bring a story one, you flip it up, flip two, you place it on the wall, and other things in that manner. Then the picture can be used easily while removing them, and then the picture used can be easily be removed or stored as the need arises. Then limitation is that the picture are not permanent, and those can be easily fall off. Yes, picture, because they were pasted there, they were at times displayed by putting pen on them for students to see. So they may be bulky and may pose storage problem as well. So like the chart. So let's do this second class activities. What can you describe as limitation to usage of instructional chart? Thank you, and God bless you. We still have other instructional material to be discussed. When we get to the class, we'll talk more about them. Thank you, and God bless you.